I mean, this is and they're openly saying the UN wants to tax the U.S. and, quote, control our Federal Reserve. It's not our Federal Reserve. The Federal Reserve's already setting up the world government. Now they act like they're getting in trouble, and, oh, the IMF, World Bank, UN's going to take us over, as if they're the solution to our bad behavior, when the Federal Reserve is the foreign takeover of our country.
We're on the march. The empire's on the run. Alex Jones and the GCN Radio Network.
Tyranny is here. The grim future foretold in 1984 has become reality.
It really says that the state is God.
The United States is now recognized globally as one of the most oppressive police states on Earth. This film conclusively proves the existence of a secret network of FEMA camps, now being expanded nationwide. This documentary exposes how the continuity of government program has established an all-powerful shadow state. Police State 4 chronicles the sickening depths to which our republic has fallen. Prepare to enter the secretive world of emergency dictatorship. Body scanners, sound cannons, citizen spies, stage terror, and cameras on every street corner. It's only the beginning of the New World Order's hellish plan. The police state isn't coming. It's here. Secure your copy today at Infowars.com or see it online in the highest quality at PrisonPlanet.tv. Hi folks, this is Alex Jones, and I want to tell you about the Silver Lungs generator. Now you can produce pure and endless colloidal silver and deliver the solution directly into the bloodstream by breathing the solution through the lungs. The respiratory system is the first line of defense for airborne pathogens and viruses. The Silver Lungs generator infuses the respiratory system with your self-produced nano-silver solutions and also delivers the silver nanoparticles instantly into the bloodstream. With continued legislation threatening the sale of nano-silver products, you can now produce pure and endless colloidal silver with the Silver Lungs generator. Very easy to follow step-by-step instructions are provided, making production fast and simple. Go to www.silverlungs.com today and learn more about the breakthrough technology of the Silver Lungs generator. That's www.silverlungs.com. Hundreds of nations have fallen to tyranny in the last century alone. This is our last chance to not relive history.
As they're finishing off this agenda, they'll be pulling the rug from underneath Americans at home.
They have tremendous influence on our president and Congress, and they really are calling the shots.
I think it's incumbent upon all of us as American citizens to pay attention.
Fall of the Republic identifies the enemies of our nation, the criminal offshore cartel, hell-bent on destroying sovereignty, and on its ashes constructing world government.
Tim Geithner, Bernanke, they're arsonists. They're asking for more matches. And the Congress is saying, who do we make the check out to?
Today seems like nobody does care. And right now in Washington, D.C., we have seen a fall of the Republic.
Get your copy of Fall of the Republic on DVD at Infowars.com or watch it online right now in super high quality at PrisonPlanet.tv.
Defending the Republic from enemies, foreign and domestic. It's Alex Jones.
You know, it's been months since I really broke down how this financial master plan takeover is going to take place. I want to briefly encapsulate it when we start the third hour, coming up here in about 30 minutes. I'm going to continue with your phone calls, start getting into the financial news here in about 15 minutes into the third hour today. But we are at the critical juncture. I cannot stress to you, and obviously you already can see this, how important this information is, all of it. I mean, I'm not risking my life for nothing. If I didn't know that we could beat the globalists or at least stall their program and buy time, I wouldn't be here. Okay? I mean, I'd be, working on a farm or a ranch or oil painting or something. That's what I really like to do. This is stressful. It's hard. Every day I come in here and it's just sickening to have to go over the news. But it's like lancing a boil or setting a broken leg. It's painful, but it's got to be done. And it's also exhilarating to see the success we're having together. I want to briefly bring up Paul Watson. Watson, you're doing an exemplary job. So is Kurt Nimmo and Steve Watson and Aaron Dykes. We are now 6 days into Drudge, every day top linking our stories. We have to salute Drudge because you don't see any other big national media figure leading the charge with our hardcore info. I mean, he's kind of like the big howitzer cannon, and we're the sabot round, that they're cramming into the breach there. And to have Drudge firing Infowars.com and PrisonPlanet.com weapons at the New World Order is a big deal. And we know why. Drudge hates being searched at the airport. Who doesn't? We're all in this together. The New World Order is going to hurt all of us. And it's going to hurt us with dollar devaluation. It's going to hurt us with vaccines. It's going to hurt us with GMO crops. It's going to hurt us with these wars bankrupting us. It's wrong. And we're all in this together. Who did Rothkopf, the head of the Kissinger Group in the Washington Post, say runs the world? 6,000 people or less. And most of them are compartmentalized. This system isn't good for anybody, even the globalists. But they're so megalomaniacal. They're on such power trips they can't help their wicked nature. Now, Watson, I think we need a story, whether it's Steve or you or whoever wants to do it. We need a story, the lies of the TSA. You know, the lies and abuse of the TSA, and point out that they've lied. I mean, you can think of a bunch of lies I won't even think of because there's so many. They lie about people dying in their custody and other similar TSA systems in Canada and England. They lie about the radiation danger. They lie about saving the images. They lie about the groping. They lie about the fact, and I even have CBS News admitting that they've never stopped one terrorist. And then tie into that the illegals say TSA-approved flight training and how our borders are wide open and how none of this has to do with security. I think a headline, I don't know, what's your idea, Watson? This is what we do in the morning every day anyways. I like to do it on air sometimes. Total transparency here in the transmission. What's a good headline to really crystallize and boil down? You know, TSA's culture of lies exposed. Or why it's important that the TSA are liars and don't protect you. Watson, what do you think that headline should be?
I normally write the article first and then create the headline. But TSA's culture of lying, yeah, something like that.
And then you know the other secret article I want you to write in the morning about TSA. And I'll have to meet with you later on the phone to go over that. But just briefly before I go back to calls, I mean, I'm sure you're listening to the show today. Do you agree with me that this is a major breakthrough and it shows the underlying rage and anger at the hands of these federal abusers that are literally taking over our society as a beachhead of federal tyranny? I mean, you don't even want to come to the U.S. now because of what you go through. The same thing's going in England. Break it down, Watson. What's your view on how important this breakout of information is?
Well, it's like the canary in the coal mine, because as soon as we started focusing on this intensively and then Drudge picked it up and ran with it, literally every day there are new cases of TSA abuse pouring forth. And in fact, just in the last half an hour or so, Drudge has linked to another one involving, again, an attractive young woman who opted out of the naked body scanner on the grounds that it increases your risk of getting cancer, as the University of Columbia and the chief global radiation body have now said. And she merely asked the TSA agents what they were going to do with her. And their response was to completely flip out, handcuff her to a chair, rip up her flight ticket, and call in 12 Miami cops, who then escorted her out of the airport. And this is a story that's gone up on YouTube just today, which Drudge is linked to. So it's caused this wave of new examples of TSA abuse, people more confident to speak out.
And again, she's a Genesis. Again, she's a Genesis talk show host on Free Talk Live. Where is the resistance? It's coming from this radio network. Now, with all the shows combined, over 500, I think Ted told me last night, 506 affiliates. I mean, and the bigger issue here is that's why they want to start censoring the internet and talk radio and alternative news, because we're giving a voice to the people and showing that almost no one is buying into this, and it's creating a huge political movement against this that is a centerpiece of the globalist takeover.
And now 4 of the most prominent travel and pilots associations in the world are coming out and saying the same thing. You had the Express Airlines pilot Michael Roberts, who refused to be groped. He was threatened that he'd be fired from his job. And so you've got extremely prominent people now coming out as part of this backlash.
But what are they going to do when more of the pilots say no? And the stewardess, a flight attendant union going public, and the head of British Airways, are the globalists going to mail a few more Anwar al-Awlaki CIA lackey cartridges? That ain't going to get it done, Paul.
Some people have speculated that this mysterious missile was about bringing down an airliner. So don't be fooled into thinking they won't try anything like that, because they've done it on repeated occasions in the past.
Because if they win at the airports, they can do this everywhere, and they've announced they are. This is the key parapet in the fight for the Republic. They are coming up over the parapet. People have finally learned to start fighting back, and guess what? We're starting to have victory.
Well, that's right. And I mean, as you said before, the U.S. has lost about a third of its income in tourism since 9/11. There was a major study in 2006 because people are just refusing to go there. It's not only the TSA officials. Even if you get past them, unscathed, then you're faced with Homeland Security. Last time we went to Austin, there was this Mexican, Spanish-American Homeland Security guy who we could barely understand, just barking orders at us and interrogating us. And if you don't know the exact phone number, the exact address of your hotel, all this information, they just turn you away. So it's several layers of this tyranny. Meanwhile, as he said, they just let illegals, the TSA just clears them to hire airlines.
That guy was probably an illegal. The illegals build the border fence.
Exactly.
In fact, that's actually, that's another point I forgot. There have been a bunch of cases going back 9 years of TSA being illegals. Ooh, that's a key report. Illegal aliens search Americans. Oh, that's an even better one, Watson. That'll really illustrate all this.
There was a big scandal in the UK a couple of years ago about how the fact that the people who handle all the cargo security at UK airports are all illegal aliens. And they're talking about, the recent example with the planes in, East Midlands Airport and this supposed ink toner package, and all the people handling all that security are illegal aliens. So, up is down, black is white.
Well, that's because there's a lot of animosity in Europe and the U.S. against illegal aliens because they get special treatment, more welfare, they keep their own culture. The government loves that. I've had members of Parliament on admitting that over half of the CPS people are foreigners because they'll steal, and they hate Brits, and they love taking kids. I mean, they bring in foreigners to rule us, Paul.
Well, I mean, you go down to St. Pancras International or basically any of the London airports, and it's all foreigners running all the security. I mean, it seems to be a case of discrimination because, most of them are foreigners. I don't know if they're illegals or not, but it seems to attract that kind of person. And then you've got these TSA agents who are just, the worst kind of human scum you can imagine that they get to run this system, which makes complete sense when you know what it's all geared towards, which is complete degradation and humiliation of the weakest people in the human race, the elderly, disabled people, women and children. That's who they target most.
And, Paul, it's key in their propaganda that we call them officials, authorities, that we worship them, that we appreciate them. And thank you for naked body scanning me with radiation. Thank you for fondling my 2-year-old. That's what they need. But now, as everybody just says, you know what? We see through your fake terror. What you're doing's wrong. The borders are wide open. You're a bunch of scum. It's going to make their system fall apart. And no amount of globalists putting ink toner bombs on planes is going to let little Chertoff, the devil, that's what it means in Russia, get what he wants.
Well, that's right. I mean, people need to file lawsuits. We've already got the Electronic Privacy Information Centre taking them on with the body scanner issue. So, if you do get abused, you just need to find out these people's names and sue them, because that's the only thing that's going to really turn it around and get this abuse.
Yeah, and they claim immunity. They don't really have immunity, but they're still going to have to respond to the lawsuit.
Well, exactly. And I mean, it's not as if this is a new phenomenon. 2002, there was a case with a LewRockwell.com journalist called Nicholas Monaghan, and his pregnant